Let's talk about indoctrination campaigns. But before we dive in, let's acknowledge a harsh truth. That truth is just because someone has subscribed to your list, that doesn't mean that they know who you are, recognize your name in their inbox, or look forward to receiving emails from you. Like, think about that for a second. If you go back to the customer value journey and acknowledge that there's a good chance someone just became aware of your existence, and then they got excited and engaged with your content, and the next thing they did was they subscribed to your list. They became a subscriber. There is no reason for you to believe that they will recognize or remember who you are when you show up in your inbox. And we have to change that. That's exactly what an indoctrination campaign is built to do. So let's define the indoctrination campaign. The indoctrination campaign is a triggered campaign sent immediately following a subscription that's designed to bond the brand and the new subscriber, right? Think relationship. Think the natural order of human-to-human contact. Think what you would do if you met someone new, a new neighbor, or a new coworker. We need to recreate that human interaction via email, via automated email. So the job of this indoctrination campaign is to turn strangers into friends, right? New neighbor, new coworker. Again, you will have success in creating your indoctrination campaign if you can wrap your mind around the fact that it is human-to-human contact. It needs to model real life, not an automated robotic campaign. That just happens to be the way that it's sent, but it can't be the way that it's written. The indoctrination campaign should only be sent to brand new subscribers. All right, brand new subscribers. If someone resubscribes to your list or subscribes or opts in for something else and they already exist on your database, they should only get this campaign once. Now, if they unsubscribe and resubscribe, or if they subscribe with a new email address, obviously you have no way of knowing, and they will get that indoctrination campaign again. And here's what I'll tell you, that's okay. It's better than okay, it's good. Remember, we are just not that important yet in the day-to-day lives of our subscribers. And if someone leaves and then comes back, then we stopped engaging with them. We stopped being that important to them if we ever got there. So we need to re-indoctrinate them. We need to walk back through the exact same process of introducing ourselves and building that bonding with the new subscriber. And that process typically contains anywhere from 2 to 5 emails, right? So anywhere from 2 to 5 emails we're going to spend dedicated to building a relationship, to bonding ourselves or our brand to that new subscriber. Well, let's break down the different elements of an indoctrination campaign. Consider this your checklist. So the first element of any high converting indoctrination campaign is a welcome and thank you. And as I'm going through these, right, as I'm going through these elements, I want you to think, again, you're introducing yourself live and in person to someone new, a new neighbor, a new coworker, right? Someone that you've been introduced to by someone you really care about. What's the first thing that you're going to do, right? If they've walked into your house, you're going to say, hey man, welcome to my house. Like, thanks so much for coming. Right? So what is the version of that in email? Right? They've just entered into your digital house. They've opted into your website. They're on your email list. We've got to welcome them and thank them. The next thing we need to do is set expectations. It's very important that when we're indoctrinating people, we let them know what to expect. Right? Part of that is so that they're not surprised, and the other part of it is that when we tell someone what we're going to do, and then we follow through on doing that, we enter into a different category in their mind. Right? We set commitments and we followed through on those commitments. Right? We are people that do what we say we're going to do. So for all the reasons, we need to make sure that we're setting expectations on who they will be receiving emails from, when they will be receiving emails, how often they will be receiving emails. And then the next big expectation to set is the benefits, right? The benefits of being a subscriber, the benefits of being on your email list. We can't assume that anyone remembers who we are or what value we add, even if they know us a little bit, even if they've been on the list a little while or they've come back. We have to restate the benefits. This is another way of saying, when this happens, here's how you will receive value. So again, don't just set expectations on the from and the timing and the volume, but reset those expectations on the benefits you're offering and how that subscriber will receive those benefits. Now, the next thing you want to do in any indoctrination campaign is to encourage whitelisting, right? What is whitelisting? That's making sure that the individual subscriber goes in and updates your domain preferences to make sure they receive any and every email from you, right? From you. If we've done our job and we've stated the benefits of being a subscriber, then we need to move quickly into making sure that if they want that benefit, they know how to make sure that they always receive it. And that happens with whitelisting. So we're going to encourage them to whitelist our domain, right? Whitelist the email address, create us as a contact. We're going to make sure that if we can, we get them to even create a folder or mark important, right? All the things that tell their email client that they are very excited about receiving email communication from you, and make sure that it gets right in your inbox and they see it. All right, the next thing we want to do is introduce the brand or your team or yourself. So depending on who you're sending your emails from, whether you're sending from a brand or whether you're sending from an individual, we need to take time to introduce the brand and the team, right? The brand and the team. Who are you? Like, who is there? Who is kind of behind the scenes making this work? Like, if you have personality, this is a time to let that out, right? This is a time to really let that out and allow them to start that bonding. This is especially important if we're talking about brands, right? Brands are, well, inanimate objects, right? They are figments of our imagination. They're created out of thin air. They're not human. They have no soul. So if you want your brand to have a soul, we need to introduce the people behind the brand, right? This is a great time to do that. What does your brand stand for? But more importantly, who's behind the scenes of that brand that's actually a person, and what makes them unique? All of these things are intentional to build that relationship, to create that bond with your new subscriber. The next thing we want to do is show off kind of our best of, right? Show off our best stuff. Think about this as, either that first time that someone new is coming to your house or your office, or maybe that first date, right? That very first date. If you're going on a first date with someone, you're going to wear your best outfit. You're going to tell your best stories. You're going to go to the best restaurant you know of, and maybe, just maybe, the place where they know you so you seem important. Why? Because you want to impress this person that you've just met, right? You care about. Let's pull that same intention forward with our subscribers. Let's impress this new person, this new subscriber, our new friend, the person that we care about, the person that we know we can add value to their lives. Let's do everything we can to make sure they're ready to receive that value, and that starts with that bond. So let's give them our best, right? Give them our best stories. Give them our best content. Send them the things that people are wowed by. So what's the most popular podcast episode? What about your most popular article on your blog? Do you have a YouTube video that's been seen hundreds of thousands or millions of times? These are just social proof elements that other people think this content is great. If other people think the content is great, you should get that content up front and in front of these new people as soon as humanly possible. So let's make sure in our indoctrination campaign, we're leading with our best foot. We're showing them our best content, our best stuff, the things that other people are wowed by. And the next thing we need to do is bounce them around, right? Bounce them around. And bouncing is something that goes back to, well, dating, like the pickup game, right? We bounce people, or I guess dating experts bounce people around because it builds a sense of depth in the relationship, right? Your short-term memory, if you've bounced someone around to 3 or 4 different places in the same room, is tricked and thinking the relationship is longer than it is. So that's the psychological basis behind bouncing. We want to use it to bounce them around, not to build false intimacy, but to show them different areas that we maybe are impressive or exist. So the best place to bounce people is through your social media profiles, right? Your podcast, your blog, anything that maybe you've gotten published on a reputable source. So if you're in entrepreneur.com, if you're a B2B brand, like this would be a great time to bounce them over to your article on that authority site. But when you're bouncing, we need to make sure that we give them a reason why they should move from where they're at to another space, right? So many people will just say, you should follow us on social media. Well, that's not very impressive. Like, I don't understand as a subscriber the benefit of chalking up another person that I'm following on social media. There is no benefit in it for me. So when you're bouncing in social media, make sure that you say, you should follow us on Facebook because we do this. Like every Monday, we do this on Facebook and only our Facebook subscribers see it, right? Only our Facebook fans see it. You should go and check us out on Instagram because this is where we upload our behind the scenes videos and footage of the team as we're, being silly, building this thing, joking around the office, whatever it is. Make sure that you give them a clear and differentiated use case for why they should not only be your email subscriber, but be your YouTube subscriber and follow you on Instagram and subscribe to your TikTok channel, whatever it is. Let's make sure that we give them not only the source to do it, but the why behind it. Really allow them to go behind the scenes and start to build that relationship. Figure out more about you and who you are and what you're about. Now, this is big. The next thing we need to do in an indoctrination campaign is prescribe the next logical step, right? The next logical step. We're prescribing, and I use that word intentionally because we need to start to train our subscribers. When I send you emails, you open them because they're valuable. When you open them and I tell you what to do, you do it, and then you receive additional value, right? When someone tells you what to do, and then you do it, they enter into a different place, a different category, right? You become an authority. So we want to make sure that we are leveraging this appropriately, but we need to prescribe the next logical step for them to receive additional benefit based on what we know they're interested in, right? Or who we know they are. So prescribe that next logical step, make sure that it's an appropriate next step in commitment, but get them to do something that you've told them to do so that you start to build that first successful transaction of prescriptive assignment that moves into the completion and additional value by the subscriber. Another thing that successful indoctrination campaigns do is they open a loop. Right? They open a loop. They get someone on the edge of their seat waiting for that next email. Remember, we're talking about 2 to 5 emails to make up this campaign. So early on, and maybe a couple times in the campaign, we need to open a loop. We need to tease the next email or the content coming in that email. Think about it like a TV show, like a TV series. Before we were binging everything, right? Before everything was on demand, we would watch a new show every week, and that show would tease the next episode, right? That's opening a loop. That's having us go, oh, I can't miss that. I really want to see that. I've got to know what happens. We need to pull that forward into your indoctrination campaign. Open a loop. Tell them what's coming up in the campaign. Tell them why they should care and get them to be on the lookout for that next email, right? Again, we are building not only setting expectations, but we're building and training our subscribers on how to interact with our content. And finally, we need to start a conversation, right? Start a conversation for building a relationship. What's a good relationship? It starts with a good conversation, not a one-sided conversation where we're talking at people, but a conversation where we allow people to participate. Email's no different. I would heavily encourage you to ask questions in your indoctrination campaign and encourage people to reply back with their answer and then, wait for it, read them. Read them and reply to them, right? Even if it's only once a month, even if it's once a week, even if someone is having to capture those and put them in a spreadsheet, whatever the case may be, ask a question, like start a conversation, and then engage with that subscriber. These are the elements of not only an indoctrination campaign, but these are the elements required when building a new relationship.